struggling to find his way. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we see a teen gaining the confidence and skills to land his first job. Kids today need people to see their potential and help them achieve it. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we do whatever it takes to help kids succeed. Because when we see young people, we see limitless possibilities. Do you? Join us, Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 5.
Welcome into Mississippi Live Weather at 5. Finally Friday, and we're finally wrapping up that work week. Heading into the weekend, it's going to be a fantastic one at that. And we'll walk through that forecast here in just a moment. We're going to be joined by our Chief Meteorologist, Matt Lobhon, out in the field right now with the Tupelo Super Show. So going to walk us through that forecast and just what he's experiencing over there. That's actually topping our broadcast here on Mississippi Live Weather at 5. Taking a look at that first headline there, Matt, of course, joining us live from the Tupelo Super Show. I had a little bit of an appetizer to the main entree right there. And the outlook for your weekend, and of course, high school football is back. What would that forecast look like for those Jamboree games? We'll be walking through that in detail. Let's first jump into the first 12 to get an idea of what that forecast will look like. 6 p.m., 86 degrees, 977. And then we're dropping towards tomorrow morning into the upper 60s. So it's going to be a great time in that forecast with upper 60s expected. So we are going to be joined, let me make sure, there we go, right there, by our Chief Meteorologist, Matt Lobhon, out in the field. Matt, how is it going out there?
It's going well here out at Furniture Market Building 5. You can hear behind me just a second ago, the doors are open. What are we doing here? Well, Memphis Wrestling coming here to the Tupelo area. And tonight it's doing it for a good cause, trying to raise money for St. Jude. You see, we have WWE superstar Rikishi up back at this direction here. He's right over there, poised and ready to sign some autographs for some fans. And there's already been 500 tickets sold to this event this evening. You can get your tickets at the door if there's something interests you. And there are people lined up outside ready to do that right now. The actual wrestling starts at 7 p.m. tonight. We'll talk a lot more about that. I'm going to look at some of the amazing hardware that Rikishi brought with him. And all that come up here a little bit later on live during this broadcast. But for now, I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lobhon live from Building 5 of the Furniture Market. $10 is admission. And, of course, wrestling starts at 7. Of course, the forecast would have been just as good to be outside this evening, right, Gabe? It is spectacular out.
Exactly. And so we might take that stage out there. Who knows? But no, we're keeping it indoors where that air conditioner is still kicking in because, yes, it is a drier forecast, but those temperatures still coming in with the upper 80s, feeling like 90. It's still summer, don't get us wrong, but with the beautiful conditions there in the sky and that drier air indicated by that dew point there coming in with the mid 60s, just making it a much more bearable forecast. So that's why we can actually head out the door. That's why we can head to those football games and actually enjoy it and not just be sweating the entire time. 86 degrees there in Tupelo. A few of those cumulus clouds popping up, but very small, very non-impactful to that sunshine, and a lot of horizontal development, not much vertical lift. That one trying, but yeah, we're far and away from seeing anything moisture-wise for the next several days. Unfortunately, fortunately, however you want to view it, whatever your weekend plans are, right? 87 degrees Winona, same thing there with a few of those puffy cumulus clouds, feeling like 90, but that drier air. I mean, we're at a 48% on that relative humidity scale, just showing how dry that air is outside, because typically on a typical summer day, we're sitting at about 70, 80%. So definitely dialing that back and definitely going to be enjoying those better conditions. What we're seeing right now is dry conditions, not just in regards to how it feels outside, but also up in the sky, because that moisture just not going to be in North Mississippi. And I can track this back, I mean, over the last 12 hours. Let's go there. Nothing, more nothing. We keep it going into the late morning, still nothing. And then early afternoon, we just have not had a drop of moisture. So that's why some of our rainfall accumulations, basically little to none across North Mississippi. That little batch of moisture we had yesterday, even those have since cleared out, and we're seeing much drier conditions prevailing. So where is the moisture? Well, it's actually due to this. We have a trough that's in place that's kind of allowing some of that moisture to go along a boundary down across the Gulf Coast region. So that's our best chances of rainfall. And you might notice behind me, especially on that side of our screen, that we do have an aerial flood watch that's in place for parts of Georgia. So it shows you it's a rainy forecast. We have flash flood warnings that are in effect, or aerial flood advisory. So we just have these flooding conditions expected, but we are right outside of that boundary. Just drawing that boundary for you real quick, primarily going to be affecting folks south of that line right there. And you might notice that we are a ways away. Whenever we measure that distance from the boundary, we're talking about 100 miles or so. So that shows you the work that it takes to circulate some of that moisture up here to North Mississippi. That's why we're not overly high on those rain chances going forward, just because that northern wind, that's going to be our main driver in that forecast. There's that boundary that we were talking about. And as we keep going into that extended forecast, we're not expecting a lot of this moisture to move further north. This low, that's where we could get a few of those chances trending into northern Alabama. But as long as that low remains right in the heart of Mississippi, a lot of that moisture not getting wrapped all the way around. We need that low to be positioned more towards Louisiana to get some of that Gulf moisture here to North Mississippi. So as we head into the overnight hours, you might notice your football forecast looking dry as ever. Beautiful start to the season. Hopefully that's every Friday night, right? But into our Saturday morning, those conditions prevail. So if we have a volleyball game tomorrow morning, like the Maynor household does, then it'll be perfect conditions to do so there. Hey, we could take the volleyball game outside. How does that sound? But for any of your Saturday plans, it's looking like a good forecast. So the next 24, yes, we do have limited coverage there towards the mid to late afternoon. I hesitated on even putting a 10% because of those northern winds starting to circulate in, but northwest Alabama, chances do climb just a bit, and we're watching that towards mid to late afternoon on your Saturday. So coming up in the next 60, we're going to be talking to our Chief Meteorologist, Matt Laupon, out in the field once again for that benefit for St. Jude and just maybe getting us some of the hardware there that Rikishi has. But then what we're tracking here is your weekend forecast, your Friday night football forecast, and just everything you need to know heading into the next, not just 24, not just 48, but 72 hours into the rest of your weekend. We'll see you right back here in just a minute. I might have clicked off of it.
At Room to Room, did you know our specialty is custom ordered upholstery? Get the furniture you want and the fabric and color selection you want. With our free design service, we won't let you make a mistake.
Your family deserves the most beautiful smile possible. At Tupelo Smiles, we use precision dentistry and advanced technology to make visiting the dentist an amazing experience. Relationship-based comprehensive care. Come discover the difference at Tupelo Smiles.
Right now, from the Mississippi Live Weather Center, here's meteorologist Gabe Maynor.
Well, not only is it a beautiful end to our Friday, it's also a beautiful start. Here's a shot from Brandon and Kossuth highlighting that beautiful sunrise there on the northern side of Mississippi. I mean, those rays are phenomenal, extending well into the camera lens right there. And so it's a phenomenal forecast to start and finish our Friday, a great start towards our weekend, and just a sign of more of this to come. Yes, we're not ending it today. Aberdeen coming in with 90 degrees. We know that Monroe County going to be heading out for some of those Jamboree games in the next couple of hours. So right now, still a little bit toasty, but at least that drier air reaching as far south as Monroe County, really as far south as our entire viewing area. Cleveland, 90 degrees, and yes, you see those winds coming out of the north, 12 miles an hour. So breezy conditions, kickers beware, should I say, as you get those field goals set. But for the rest of us, that breeze is going to be a nice little compensation to those summer temperatures for sure. Macon, 90 degrees, feeling like 91, and that dew point. I mean, we're talking about basically everything on this graphic because everything has a purpose. That dew point coming in with 65 degrees, that difference from 65 to 90, whenever that threshold is as wide as it is, then it's much drier air in place. It's when those two values line up that we get more of that moist, muggy forecast. Don't want that, right? So your high school football forecast, the first of many going forward. Yes, it is that football season that we've been long awaiting for. We finally survived those summer months, and we are back in the South's prime with having some of that football in the forecast. 86 around pregame, 79 halftime, and 75 by that final snap. Temperatures not shabby whatsoever. And sky conditions, I mean, clear as can be with a few of those puffy cumulus clouds, but I mean, it's going to be very isolated. So a beautiful forecast moving forward. So make sure to get out there and enjoy it and support your team. I know it's Jamboree week, but still, they need all the support they can get every single week moving into the season. There you see those northern winds really pushing into the forecast for our Friday evening. More breezy out there in the Delta. Further out east, going to be more about 0 to 5 miles an hour, or should I say calm to about 5 miles an hour. 7 p.m., I'm actually going to stand on this side of your screen because that's where the moisture is moving in. Is actually on the right side of your screen there towards northwest Alabama. Now, a few of those brief heavy downpours, but I don't have it reaching all the way into North Mississippi. Again, staying on the drier side for those overnight hours, so rain chances very minimal. Basically nothing. Nothing for North Mississippi, but basically nothing there for northwest Alabama for any of those games there towards Red Bay, Aliceville, Soligent, anything like that. So as we head into our Saturday morning, staying on the drier side once again, and cumulus clouds going to continue to linger around, but most of us getting those blue skies all day long. That'll warm us up nicely as we head into the rest of our Saturday. But getting it started, I mean, I can't get enough of these temperatures. Of course, we have that moisture out there in Alabama. That's going to keep temperatures from cooling off as much, so we have low 70s picking up right there. But the rest of us, upper 60s across the region, still uncharacteristic for this time of year, but we are not complaining at all. Let's keep Futurecast going into our Saturday afternoon, and you might see a few of those pop-up showers. They do try to form. Now, it's dependent on where that low forms, and we'll have a better idea of this coming up at 6 and 10 this evening. But as of right now, we're not overly high. That low circulating in moisture to North Alabama, not North Mississippi. It's just a bit of a stretch of the imagination. So as we move towards our Saturday afternoon, we do have those drier conditions once again in place. The best rain chances we'll have is further east, so Marion, Franklin, and Lamar County getting some of those showers popping up around that 1 o'clock hour. Those try to push in there towards Itawamba and Tishomingo County. That's where we could get some of those showers. So your best threat is basically if you live along the Alabama state line, you might get a couple sprinkles. But out west, dry as can be all day long. There's some of those brief heavy downpours continuing by 4 o'clock there towards Soligent, and those try to form down there towards Pickens County. You see Gordo and Reform being included with that. So that's going to be 5, 6, possibly even 7 o'clock as some of those rain chances do linger. But again, we're not very high on those rain chances. That's why we had that 10% coverage. So minimal, but not going to be impactful. High temperatures, low 90s to mid 90s. You see a few mid 90s popping up, Belzona, Greenville, and Greenwood. For the rest of us though, low 90s. That's very seasonable for this time of year, so nothing unexpected, but definitely a better forecast than what we've been experiencing the past few days. Heat indices show those drier conditions. We talked about 96 Greenwood and Greenville. Well, the heat indices reading the exact same value, meaning that moisture not going to be in the air when it comes to rainfall. It's also not going to be in the air when it comes to that mugginess factor. Saturday night has some of those showers try to linger there along the Alabama state line. I think we're still a little bit aggressive on those rain chances, but there it is. The great cold front that we've been tracking heading into your weekend forecast. And moving through Sunday morning, that's going to start to push in some of this drier northern air that is, of course, cooler in the process. And I know our meteorologist, Caleb Edelblut, will be excited to track that forecast moving into your Sunday. So definitely tune in at 5 and 6. I don't think there will be a moment where there's not a smile on his face, because that's how good this forecast gets. 4, 5, and 6 o'clock, those isolated showers picking up right along that frontal boundary. So it's not going to be a completely dry day, but we're not tracking anything impactful when it comes to those rainfall chances. So just going to be those pop-up showers in and around that frontal boundary as it pushes on through. 10 p.m., we're clear of the front, and look at the breezy conditions that are starting to move in there from the north, circulating in that drier, cooler air, and we'll definitely feel that as early as your Monday morning. Yes, it will be a phenomenal forecast. High temperatures already dropping back just a bit. 88 for Corinth, 86 Boonville, 90 Oxford, 94 Grenada, and still getting 96, 97 there towards Greenwood and Greenville. Those heat indices right around that same value, and I keep showing you this because it just shows that drier forecast that's going to be in place despite the temperature still being on the toasty side. 92 Saturday, 91 Sunday. Those winds coming out of the north, light for Saturday, but a bit more breezy there as that front starts to push on through. Mostly sunny skies both days and feeling much drier as a result of that northern wind. So we are definitely excited about that forecast. As that front pushes through though, some rain chances do try to pick up in the forecast. Monday and Tuesday, very isolated in nature, but look at the temperatures. Upper 80s for Monday, low 80s by Tuesday. The fact that some people's high temperatures Tuesday were some people's low temperatures about a week ago, speechless. when it comes to that. But then the low temperatures follow that same trend. We're going to be in the mid 60s for the start of our work week. 64 there Monday. I mean, have you ever been more excited for a Monday? I haven't. But 64 Tuesday, 61 by Wednesday. And by the time we get towards Wednesday and Thursday, we could be tracking temperatures in the upper 50s in some locations along the Tennessee state line as we head into that extended forecast. So enjoy it. We do have some minimal chances of rainfall, but again, not overly high on that, but we'll take what we can get, right? Still a dry forecast. Now, as we come over here back to the monitor, we're going to be joined by our Chief Meteorologist, Matt Lobhon, here in just a second, walking us through a bit more on what he's doing out there in Tupelo. An exciting show today. Matt, I hope that you are as excited as we are to just be a part of it, and I know I'm excited to get back to it to see what's all going on.
Well, the doors have opened since we last talked a little bit ago. We're here at Building 5 of the Tupelo Furniture Market for the Super Show. Memphis Wrestling, which I think to a lot of folks out there means a lot to them both in the past and in the present, has a special event tonight. You see, they are helping to raise money, and you could as well by coming to a wrestling super show here in the Tupelo area tonight. Again, I mentioned Building 5 of Tupelo Furniture Market. A $10 ticket gets you in, and it's raising money for St. Jude. You know, St. Jude provides amazing services to children who are faced with fighting childhood cancer. And your money here tonight, the proceeds from what's going to happen here, will help fight that childhood cancer. But if it's not just all goodness in your heart, then it also could be pretty awesomeness as well. You see, Rikishi, you can see kind of behind me there, who is a WWE superstar, is here. He brought his hardware as well. We're talking, let's see if I get up high enough that you can see it there, but all the belts back there on the table. There's a lot. And it's not just Rikishi, it's also a number of other area wrestlers that are going to be here as well. The doors opened at 5. The line behind me you see there is to sign autographs, because it's not every day we get a star this big to come to the Tupelo area. But then the actual wrestling itself starts at 7 p.m. Now, it is general admission. That means if you're just now hearing about it, you're not guaranteed to be in the back, but you do need to come here and stake out your seat, because every seat is available to every person. And so you can see the ring behind me. One of the things that I found fascinating, and listen, I'll be full disclosure, I've never been a huge wrestling fan if you want to say it, but I've always been impressed by the fact that these athletes, legitimate athletes, have to be in great shape to protect their bodies from whatever comes. I was just kind of shocked because, again, the ropes, I couldn't figure but the ropes are really tight there, and it's a legit arena. So it's kind of a cool opportunity to come out here and watch a bunch of wrestlers from 7 p.m. until probably 8:30 or so, when that will be going on. And the line is significant already for all the autographs you kind of see back behind me there. So again, a cool entertainment opportunity here in the Tupelo area ongoing this evening. We've talked to folks from Iuka, from Bruce, from kind of all over the area that are out here to experience it tonight. So we know it's going to attract a lot of folks from a lot of places. So come up at 6 o'clock, I might actually step a foot, or maybe more than a foot, into the arena there. We'll see if anybody joins me in there. Maybe somebody from social media. We'll find out about that. Anyway, that's coming up during Mississippi Live Weather at 6 o'clock. So one more time, we're in Building 5 of Tupelo Furniture Market. And for double that, $10, you can help end childhood cancer by supporting St. Jude and get a show as part of it here. So a cool opportunity this evening. We'd love to come out and see you. Some folks signing autographs. We're taking selfies. And it's a great way to spend a Friday night. So live from the Tupelo Furniture Market, Building 5, I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lobhon here. We'll show you the line, which is fairly long, but there's still plenty of seats ongoing at this point. So plenty of opportunity to come out and enjoy things. Gabe?
Yeah, Matt, you need to get Rikishi some Mississippi Live Weather merch and autograph it real quick. That'll really set us over the edge, right?
Well, you're implying that I actually have taken the time to get a little bit more of that printed outside that hat that I have. So maybe some point. See, poor planning, poor results. Should have thought that ahead. This is why I need to ask you these questions in advance.
Well, at least get an autograph on a piece of paper. Bring it back to the station. I want to see it.
Okay, we'll do that.
All right, well, have fun out there, and we can't wait to see you in the ring. And hey, you better stick up for Mississippi Live Weather. We need a win in the ring, okay?
I'll stick up for Mississippi Live Weather, but this frame, not really built for wrestling in there. So I might be that guy running for the edges really quickly. But it seems like that guy always gets tumbled over the edge. So I don't. I'd have to do, I guess, the slide, like the run and slide thing, where they kind of slide underneath the rope. I don't know. My health insurance, I'm not sure if it's paid up, so we'll see how this goes.
Well, we just need you back at work come Monday, right?
Well, I can be back at work. I only need my pointer finger, right?
We'll wheel you around if we need to, but yeah, just stay in one piece out
Okay.
there. Have fun.
Okay, we'll see you later.
All right, see ya. Well, that's what we're tracking. More on Matt coming up tonight at 6, and excited to see him take the ring. I'm definitely intrigued about that, and I hope you guys are as well. Go ahead and donate. We appreciate just you guys being a part of this journey and making it possible, and we are big advocates for St. Jude, and of course, they're what they do. And so if you guys want to donate as well, just go ahead and do so. If you guys want to go out to the event tonight, it's available right now. So go ahead and head to general admission and get to the Tupelo Furniture Market as we speak. But this kind of wraps up our show for 5. We have another show coming up in about 40 minutes at 6. So we cannot wait to see you there. So live from the Room to Room Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Gabe Maynor here from Mississippi Live Weather. We'll see you back here very shortly for more on that Friday night football forecast and also what to expect heading into your weekend. So there we go. All right, we'll see you guys there. You know what? I spoke too soon. I always forget the graphic. It's just tradition at this point. Make sure to download the app. You can see iOS and Android on your screen right there. Download it and go ahead and get the latest in weather technology so that way you guys can be informed for your forecast tonight. It'll let you know if any of those showers pop up. There won't be. But it will let you know just in case heading through the rest of your season. So go ahead and be prepared as we head further into that football forecast. And of course, our next live broadcast coming up tonight at 6 and another one tonight at 10. If you have the app, that's the best way to stream, but there's also YouTube, Facebook, anything you need right at the palm of your hands.
At Absolute Restoration, our team will feel magical since our focus is on serving you and your roofing needs. Finding a roofer who actually shows up and communicates, that's just one of the problems we solve by informing you of every step in the process.
Selling premium roofing systems backed by warranties and payment plans starting at just $99 per month. Trust Absolute Restoration to deliver.
Experience unicorn-level service and affordability from a team your community trusts. Call Absolute Restoration today.